you to pick your Ezreal if it's up and available here and just chill out. Don't worry about it. Let Viper get involved in the team fights, but don't try to build an entire game plan around him.
Yeah, I think that's something we'll have to kind of keep a side eye on as we go into it now, though. We do see the Varus, the Rumble, the Ezreal ban by IG on that blue side. Be that Nocturne, Ashe, and Akali from BLG on red.
Yeah, not surprising that the Ezreal does get banned away, but with the Orianna going on through, you are always going to give this one over, as we've been talking about, right? This is the highest pick of any champion. 89% pick ban at the moment, and most of those are bans. People are not allowing this champion to go through, and when it does, it is winning a ton of games really well. Giving that over tonight is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to be Nya in this position. Hopefully they'll give him something he feels comfortable on, something he can pair up with Jwei, because that was the more important fact. It didn't really matter what happened in lane. Lane didn't really amount to anything that time around. It was what happened outside of lane. And I do want to see if that combo continues to play towards that style, at least. As the Vi will be locked in, could see the Ahri, could see anything else, some setup tools from the mid jungle.
Yeah, I would really like to see that Vi Ahri at some point coming on through. You could just, again, that pick potential, giving you a way to always start off a team fight and not have to worry about it too much. But again, it does expose you like it did for BLG in the previous game, where if you don't get those picks off, the comp does kind of fall to pieces. Instead, IG gonna pick themselves up a Corki down in the bottom side of the map. So again, they're looking to get themselves some level of early aggression coming on through. For BLG, now that you see the Corki, you're pretty wide open to play down in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Something with a little bit of extra safety and you're chilling.
Now BLG going to be looking for their jungle duo with the Orianna. We've had multiple iterations, not just the Nocturne, of what can go with the Orianna. I think that's something we've been seeing is Orianna's just good. Nocturne was a cool tool, but there are other tools in the tool shed, and one of those is Xin Zhao. The other one was the Nefiri that was hovered already.
Yeah, some sort of ball delivery system was always going to be what you want to pick up for yourself. Right now, it's looking like, overall, you want a pretty standard front-to-back teamfight kind of composition, although if you're stuck in the Jace, all of a sudden you're pivoting towards a bit more poke. I think this makes a lot more sense. Give yourself something tanky in the top lane, doesn't really care about what the matchup is. Even if you get put behind early as a Scion, really doesn't matter in the end, and I like this overall. It is unfortunate that Bin, his Giga Bin performance in the previous game, didn't end up picking up a win, but the Scion, he should be really helpful for this teamfight comp.
I mean, the Scion just feels so good.
Yeah.
You're just going to be so stalwart, unable to be moved, and going to be a massive team fight threat as well. The bend and break of the Gnar not going to be there this time around. See what Breathe wants to go. Before we get into our second phase here, he's going to go with the Ambessa. Even with the changes to the ult, still very strong.
Yeah, I mean, the ult taking a little bit longer to land, it just feels a lot fairer for everybody else to actually get a bit of reaction time to be able to jump away. And that being said, right, as much as it is still overall very strong in those skirmishes, the ult was already kind of tricky to land in competitive. It's going to get a heck of a lot harder with these changes coming on through. I like the pairing alongside the Vi, as we were talking about. Something that could be a dive buddy alongside the Vi is always important, and these two can work really well together. I think you still want something quite aggressive to be able to pull through in the support to give you that three-man jump forwards kind of composition. Into such a tanky, such a front-to-back kind of composition out of BLG, though, I do worry a little bit. You jump in as the Vi, you jump in as the Ambessa. If you get caught by that shockwave, there's very little you can do. You can get CC locked very easily.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest scary point of it. I have not been a fan of Corki in the meta. I know it's strong. I know it can be really good. I know we've seen pop-offs on it.
I hate it.
But I'm
not my thing.
Yeah, I'm not about it. Second phase, though, we do see the bot lane focus for both sides. It is going to be the Lulu and the Xayah banned by IG. We'll see that Nami banned already by BLG. See what else they want to follow it up with. It's got to be more supports.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. The Xayah, very interesting. Not being a particularly high priority champion overall, but when you're looking at ADCs that could potentially survive all of this engage that you've got, the Xayah would have been topping out that list. And the Rakan has been pretty interesting recently, which always drags that duo up in priority. For IG, they're going to be looking to lock something in through the mid lane at the moment. And if they do grab the Siles, that's a couple of really good ultis to potentially grab for yourself. Would also take any sort of engage support away, because you don't want to be giving all of those ultis over too. They've got lots of options that they're thinking about right now, and you do need some more just straight up long form damage to come through, because otherwise you're just so burst reliant.
Yeah, I think that's the toughest thing about it is you at least get a little bit of that here. The Victor will be locked in for Nya, so be able to have a little bit more sustained damage there. It's another comp that's looking to scale for IG so far, though.
Yeah, they very much are not trying to play fully through the early stages of the game, but BLG, they're going to match them in this, and this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the standard BLG experience, the Sivir, the Bard, what they've been playing. Anytime the Ezreal isn't available for Viper, this is what they end up going towards, and this whole composition for BLG, it is straight up, front to back. We are going to play the game in the most standard way possible, with that added little wrinkle of being able to put down that Tempered Fate from the Bard and split a team fight up.
And being able to pair up with Shun as well, and to be annoying in the jungle, I think is the biggest proponent of having a Bard on the map. We'll see the Alistar come through for Mako. This is a huge comfort for him in his career, his very long career, but it's also not something we've been seeing as much of recently. They now do have a pretty strong front line, at least.
Yes, they do, and I think that now you've sort of not gone all in on this full burst engage composition. You've now got some damage that can deal it over time, that can slow the pace down, specifically with Nia, and then having Mako on a very tanky champion. You've got a couple more options to try to play around. You can look for those picks, and I think picks are still going to be very important for this IG composition. Being able to catch Knight or Viper out before these team fights start will be massive. Jun, especially if you can grab him, although that will obviously be a little bit trickier. But now if you do have to straight up front to back, it's okay. You're not going to be finding it quite as tricky as you would otherwise.
It's an important factor and a very big difference for BLG from game 1 to 2. This is a true test for IG. This is a moment where BLG are going back to their form. They're going back to something they're comfortable with. You just had an incredible splash of game number 1. Can you take some of that momentum, some of those really good macro decisions, and bring them into a second game? Potentially bring BLG another loss, which is something they're not super accustomed to so far this split. And it's a really important factor here for IG to be able to have a clean game, especially be able to get off the ground running without any hiccups that we've typically seen from them. Consistency is key as we get closer to playoffs, and especially with this important series for IG in their new home arena. IG versus BLG, game 2 starts now.
I love how loud the chants are. I mean, everybody super excited for this matchup. And as you said, right at the very end of draft, right, this is important for both of these teams. For BLG, it's all about building momentum going into this next round. They've secured themselves top 4, but they want that top spot. And their whole week 7 is pretty tricky. They've got the IG match here, then they've got TES and AL to play to. Those could be losses too if they're not feeling in form.
And those are teams, at least TES, right next to them in the standings. You know, first place in regular season has a nice ring to it. I'm sure teams are going to want that, even though seeding does also matter in those cases here. But we will see the opposite side stars for both junglers. Some vision have been put down in the jungle by both teams, particularly by BLG. So we'll have some information on IG.
Yeah, they're just wanting to track through as best as possible, not allow this fight to find any early ganks through, something that this champion can do incredibly well. Once again, though, we're going to be waiting for the level 6s really to be coming on through for our junglers, for our mid laners, for them to feel most comfortable stepping up and looking for the aggressive plays. So we have a look down towards the bot side of the map, and as we were saying in draft, I'm really happy with what BLG have done here. Go back to the standard, go back to what Viper has been best on. He's not super good at the moment at being really aggressive and trying to carry the team for himself. He's been so much better at these champions that just want to sit back, farm up, get into the later stages of the game, and then unleash.
I know this is going to be kind of a side point. What's he been? He's gonna die. I think he's in some trouble.
Why would you flash? Huh?
Why did he flash? Huh? He's gonna TP
he's
out
flashed
because
TP.
they don't have any
Okay.
more CC.
Okay.
All right, I like it. Use both of the summoner spells.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's my question here. Is that what do you get? He gets he does at least get himself a couple of components coming through. I was going to say, if he ends up just heading back to base with nothing, but no, he was able to grab himself a good couple of waves. He's okay in this situation, but losing out on your flash and your teleport right here whilst Breathe is just chilling in the top lane, not ideal.
Scion good for late game. That's what he's going for.
That's true. That's
Nya
true.
is way far up right now, and Shun is going to try to be the bearer of bad news here. Going to get the flash out of Nya early, so that can be something they revisit very, very quickly. Mako and On going at it. Should be just some supportal combat that On actually has the better end of, just because he's ranged.
Yeah.
And both ADCs had reset. I was going to ask you, how many games do you think Mako has on Alistar in his entire career?
Oh my god. It's got.
And I told you it's his most. I told you it's his most comfortable champion, so it's got to be up there. He's been playing since 2011 or 2014.
He's well over 100 games of Alistar, surely.
Okay. And whittled down a little bit more.
Is it over 200?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say
it's 167. 167.
I was
this
gonna
is
then put us at like 125. I would have thought 125, 126. 167 is insane.
You gotta remember that Alistar was like main meta for like 6 years.
Oh yeah, it's very rarely not been something you could potentially go towards. It has been a staple, right? But still, that's an insane number of competitive games on this champion.
It is crazy, and Viper will know that very well. His old teammate for that world championship. We'll see how the rest of this 2v2 kind of peters out. As both junglers getting back onto the map and their second clears here, both of them still going to be on that opposite side pathing. No real lane advantages coming out for anybody just yet. Bin will go for another proxy in the top side.
And I mean, why not at this point? I think the same thing could well happen, right? You are in a
he
situation...
doesn't have flash TP this time, though.
Yes, but and Jwei is once again in the area. Instead, going to be a bit more of a focus from BLG around this bottom side of the map. As you would expect, the Alice are very weak during the early laning phase, so you're getting pushed in quite a lot by Viper and On, and that's going to give them a lot of leeway to just go and head towards this Drake. I mean, having to heal there just to run away a little bit faster is pretty rough. This bot lane for IG, so far, not feeling too good, but this is exactly how you expect the matchup to go.
Yeah, I think there's just that push priority that inherently comes with the ricochets and things with the Sivir. Do love to see the early Dragon Prio here. I think getting that trend going for BLG is a big difference from game one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. If they're able to just sort of stabilize out through the early stages and then push the pace of the game a little bit further forwards. I think that was the other problem we ran into with BLG in the previous game, was they just stalled out. They weren't trying to make their composition work for the picks. They weren't trying to just find ways of accelerating the pace of the game. Instead, they kind of let it happen to them, and IG, with their scaling, were able to come back through. A very different composition right here out of BLG. They're happy for this game to go long, for Viper to get bigger, for Bin to be able to get massive right here on the Scion, and obviously giving over the Orianna is, I will continue to say, a little bit crazy from IG.
Yeah, I would say so. Victor's still also very strong, but we'll see how that all pans out in the end. There's a little bit of a lead in topside for Breathe, at least in the XP department. Do love to see both Mako and On getting more involved on the map. I think that's something that really helped out IG in game number one, was there not being a lot of roaming power out of the bot lane. This time around, that's going to be a change of pace here. But also another change of pace is that Dragon had gotten taken early, which means that both teams could contest for Grubs, which is coming about 1:10.
Yeah, and we saw the first Drake in the last game wasn't taken until almost 10.5 minutes into the game, and then all of the subsequent ones picked up by IG for a while. They were very much in control of these objectives. In this game, like I said, BLG able to grab that first one for themselves, and if we do end up getting a little bit of a skirmish around the top side of the map, these are two teams that actually quite like a skirmish, but I would give a little bit of an advantage over to IG as long as they're able to land that initial Vault Breaker out of Jwei.
And man, I just the world that we would live in if IG 2-0 BLG. I'm just putting the thought into people's brains, like a little brain
lost
worm
to
right now, because it is possible in this current state. Yeah. What BLG has to say about it. I came in today saying BLG need a clean series. They need to look clinical. They need to finish out these last 3 series really strongly to build up into playoffs, and that has not been the case so far, Bloxxer.
I mean, the craziest circle of results is IG lose to WE, beat BLG 2-0. Like, What is that world? That should not be the current world that we are living in. I mean, the LPL regular season is always crazy, but I think that might well take the cake.
I think my my headset might die, but I can still cast with the TP coming in. See Mako actually find the spellbook TP towards top side, try to take down Ben here. He's gonna unstoppable onslaught out, and he will be just fine. That was a short trip on the train there, Bloxxer.
Yeah, just puts himself straight into the wall, doesn't actually want to run any further away, and will just be able to keep up the pressure. Still, with all of the pressure up towards the top side of the map, IG looking potentially towards these grubs are going to start them up. And there's no real contest coming on through. BLG just going to send Jwei down towards the bottom side of the map, grab himself a Scuttle Crab, clear out a couple of camps. Nothing really to steal away either, and so IG doing pretty well for themselves during the early stages here.
Really good trades in mid lane by Knight onto Nya, though this will mean we are seeing the grubs go over to IG. They were able to get them last game as well. Viper's waiting in the bush. He's going for a kill on a Diachi. This guy's just smelling blood tonight. He's just like waiting in bushes. He's flanking. He's finding little bursts. And now they are going to fully surround Diachi by himself in this bot side. Tempered Fate's going to come in onto the turret. They're going to dash in. The Crescent Guard is unleashed, and they won't be able to get the kill there. Diachi survived with just his flash being burned, and now IG can counterplay. They're not going to be able to, I don't think. Maybe Jwei was looking for it.
I don't think that IG are really going to be able to actually get themselves any extra kills, and that does blow the teleport out of Nya down towards the bottom side of the map. That gives an advantage over to BLG, but the fact they weren't even able to capitalize on having just so much free time around Diachi, he doesn't even end up using his barrier in the end.
That's so crazy. There's
chilling.
4 people surrounding him, and doesn't even flinch.
Nope.
That's going to feel good as well for the IG collective. About 35 seconds, though, and another dragon comes up. BLG could look to go for that, but more importantly, Xun pathing away from the dragon as of right now.
And was able to pick up that first Drake, so no real pressure to have to head straight on towards this next one. 20 seconds, he can very easily finish off these Krugs and then just take a reset, head back down towards the bottom side of the map. In fact, we're going to see Knight teleporting back into the mid lane. Hasn't quite been able to complete his first item yet. Nobody has been able to get that far forward at this point, with no kills yet on the board. And actually quite a lot of pressure from both teams around the top side.
I don't like it. I want kills. I'm getting antsy. I need something. Blood for the blood god. That's what they say.
Indeed. I mean, you might get one here. Breathe, pretty low.
They're looking for another clap, so they tried one on bot side. They're going to try it on top side now. Tempered Fate's not available, so they can't get the turret out of the fight, and they'll just back away. But they are looking.
Viper. Yeah, but with all of that pressure happening on the top side, look at what's happening to Viper. He is having to sit so far back. Oh,
Nya gets caught by the shockwave. He will have to burn his flash there. Needed to get away from Xun.
Okay, just about going to be able to get away. Burning the flash there, though, is going to be pretty big. As you said, we've got a lot of pings happening down towards the bottom side of the map. Xun actually taking a reset right now. Wasn't able to grab one just from the top side because of that attempted dive that they were looking for, and that's going to give IG a pretty fast track look on in towards this Drake. It is an Infernal Drake, something that teams always like to go towards.
They've got a weird flank here. On was not ready for it. He's going to have to take his magical journey out, but guess who's waiting on the other side for him? It's
Punt him
Mako.
back! Punt him back! Yeah!
We're playing volleyball. Spike! And Mako is gone.
Oh, that was so sexy right there. You could tell IG knew exactly what was happening. Really well played. Now losing out onto the Bard means that this is going to be a lot trickier to try to fight back for BLG. They do, however, have that full item completed onto Jun, so they are a little bit confident.
What a play from IG, just finding the little incremental advantages, though. Jyati gets jumped on now. Crescent Guard into him. He's going to get the 3 talent strike as well. He's going to be so low. They do find the kill there. The Arcane Storm is ticking. They don't have enough damage anymore, and BLG are skirmishing their way out of this early deficit. Tempered Fate comes a little bit wide there. Mako will end up flashing over the wall. Dragon number 2 goes to BLG, and they take back the lead in full force.
Jwei able to step away from that Wind Becomes Lightning, otherwise he would have been dead. But it was an early pick out of IG that BLG just completely flip on its head. This is why you ended up seeing that reset coming on through. BLG, they knew that they could afford to be a little bit later into that play. They send them on back, and now this is just the red buff being stolen away as well. Mako needs to be careful. There's quite a lot of friends in this bush.
He's thinking about playing for this one. not gonna get the red, unfortunately. BLG do take a little bit more, so now about 1.5k early here, 13 minutes in. We'll have these lane assignments come right back to it. Nothing changes all that much in the way that the game can be played out, but there is some small advantages for BLG across the board.
Small little shutdowns on top of Viper at this point, on top of Breathe, and this is just really fun. This is a really fun play. You can see Mako is waiting, and this is what 167 games of Alistair in competitive play will do for you right here. Just going to be able to pick that one up. But then this is Jun, who's headed back to base and has been able to grab himself that Sundered Sky, so he knows that he is absolutely fine to walk forwards here, especially with the ulti pop. Nobody's going to be able to kill him. We'd just watched Nya lose his flash earlier on, and this very well could have been a couple extra kills. As you said, the Tempered Fate and the Wind Becomes Lightning both going wide right here. If that had have landed, it would have been 3 kills and the dragon.
Yeah, that would have been a lot more of a snowball there. But we are getting first items now completed for majority members on the map as well. Trinity Force there for Jwei. That's a big spike. Essence Reaver there for Viper as well. So some spikes that might change how some of these fights work. But what isn't changing is that BLG are back to pushing on bot side.
Continuing to push a lot of members down into this lane as well. You can see all 4 members right here stacked up in the bushes, hunting forwards. It means that IG cannot afford to step to this tower, and it will be first tower going on to BLG. The response is going to be a big push coming through from the mid lane, and there's not really anybody available to go and cover onto the mid, so you do lose out onto a little bit right there, but can they make the collapse happen?
Going for their own play. There's going to be the flash and the cease and desist to follow up the Vault Breaker and the Viper, who's just going to sacrifice his life now as well. Mako's going to hunt back Sun, and now Sun is in some trouble too. He's going to pop the Crescent Guard, but he's going to die. Temper Fate hits onto 2. Knight's going to go for something big. Shockwave hits onto 2. He wants the damage. Knight finds 1. I don't think Knight can follow up more though. Jwei able to fire back. Way going to look for it now. Bin shows up. Unstoppable Onslaught gets the first kill. The solo laners of BLG are showing up big here as Nya goes down 2. On's going to fall, but that is Knight and Bin asserting dominance.
I mean, what a complete mess of a teamfight overall, and the teleport going to come through from Knight as well into the top side to keep their tower alive. So it's a tower going over, a couple of kills back and forth. I like the idea out of IG, but they just didn't recognize that Bin had this mega flank coming on through. And the second that Tempered Fate landed and bought some extra time, allowed Knight to get that shockwave off, BLG, they were always going to find a couple kills back.
And they brought Knight up to the top side, but maybe he didn't want that. As
No
Breathe looking for the solo. Bolo doesn't have the damage. Gonna flash forward just to make sure. Meanwhile, it's his support who's getting engaged on underneath him as Shun gets the solo, at least the 1v2 kill onto Mako, and Breathe TP's out, because why not?
Mazel, this game is a mess. This is a complete mess of a game. I mean, we were talking about clean gameplay out of BLG, and right now it feels like IG have fully dragged them down to the 5 and 7 depths, to the mid-tier of Group Ascend. Now, potential play around this Herald.
50-50? Okay. He's not gonna, he's gonna go.
I was going in.
Though. He's got Breathe with him, full health. They do get the eye. They TP out there, though. It's going to be a little bit troublesome, though. On will fall. Big picks for IG. They're going to get re-engaged on, though, and Breathe needs to be so careful. Knight takes him down now. Mako flashing away, and Jwei unreeling to go with the rest of that fight, rest of his team, and he is down now. Nya will fall, too. And again, one of those quintessential mistakes of positioning for Jwei, and that lead just got even further for BLG.
Well, I mean, I think you're also going to have to put some blame on Jwei and Breathe right there for also getting as aggressive as they did, stepping way too far forward. The map play is also going to be incredibly important. They're going to get the mid lane tower off of this, possibly the top lane tower too. This, though, Jun on going so far forward, you're also then going to end up with Jwei just... He's stepping to Bin here. Look at him. He is pumping damage into Bin, and Bin does not care. At what point does Bin care? Why are you sitting and trying to hit right here onto the Scion is beyond me. But also, the other thing that's happening during this play is that Viper is chilling. He doesn't deal that much damage at this point in the game, right? You're going to need a couple extra items, just the Essence Reaver available for him at the moment. But even after just the next item that comes through, if he gets an eye edge, if he's allowed to just sit and hit like he was in that previous team fight, IG are going to lose.
And you already have BLG threatening a soul point on another Hextech soul, by the way.
Yep.
And I don't know if IG can move in to contest this. I mean, Jwei would love to try to 50-50 it, but they're going to give over the soul point over, and now that just means a 5-minute timer till the Hex Soul comes up for BLG.
And it's the complete opposite of what we saw in the previous game, where BLG weren't able to get any of the early Drakes, and the one they're about to take gets stolen away to turn into Soul for IG. For IG, they've got a composition that really was reliant on getting quick picks between Jwei and Breathe, and they really just haven't shown that to us yet. In fact, Jwei might be getting picked here himself.
Yeah, these are some of those moments that we were kind of foreshadowing to when we came into the series, is when things aren't in the lead for IG, stuff gets a bit messy across the board, and that is going to be one of those moments, as BLG feeling pretty confident and comfortable here in game number 2. Maybe a little bit of a wake-up call from game number 1.
Absolutely, and hey, if this is what they needed to prompt them into playing a little bit more of an aggressive style, I do like that for BLG, but they're still going to be annoyed to have dropped that first game, and getting 2-0'd by IG would be devastating for them. Right now, not looking particularly likely. 3 Drakes in inventory. They've got all of the towers in the game as well, and I think this is the key point. All the outer towers are now gone. Yes, the top lane tower is very low right here for IG, but they still haven't been able to pick it up. It's making their setup for these objectives so much harder to play around. You always have to have people in these side lanes to be pushing out, otherwise they just lose so much map pressure.
And we're looking just like off game number 1 at these solo lanes so far from BLG. I've been really impressed with the way that they've been able to conduct themselves. Obviously very well known, very strong laners. We've already seen that so far this split, but you know, in that first game, I think Finn's going to want that one back for sure with the amount of gold that he did have. But in this one, it was a little bit more of a contested early game. They still find themselves in promising positions, with Knight himself being 2.3k individually over Nya.
I mean, we're going to have to keep questioning why it was that BLG were allowed to get Orianna. You question why anybody's allowed to get Orianna in the current meta. And Knight, with his MVP level performance so far, yeah, not exactly who I would have been giving over the strongest champion we've got in the meta at the moment. Still, we're going to see the Reft Herald go down into the bottom side.
Go mid.
Bot lane tier 2 Katawa. How's
See his
the driving?
skills. Let's
It's
see.
looking good.
Around the corner, whip it.
Oh,
whip it real
beautiful.
good.
Beautiful. Driving license secured right
Even
there.
the cute Pengu on the end.
Yep. It's beautiful. That was incredibly
That's our duck.
well done.
If you know, you know.
Aye.
10-10, I'm looking at you. As a fellow Shun enjoyer. But we are getting a little bit set up preemptively around the Dragon Pit here. Still 2 minutes and 15 seconds out, but you could tell how much this is looming large in the purview of IG.
Absolutely, they are really early to this one. Looking for a potential pick. It wouldn't even take that person out for the Drake itself. They're hunting for Knight, but just about going to be spotted out.
They
Way
really
still going to go.
Him. Oh, they didn't find the engage there. It is looking a little bit desperate here for IG. As Jati overextends again, he's going to Valkyrie out. Beautiful knock up there. They try to go back for Knight. Knight gets tempered faded though, and On is doing a wonderful job in this fight as he's flashing away from Mako. He turns around and helps get the kill. He's the one that gets the gold off of it, and now Breathe finds himself 1v4 just falling, and that's 4 members down of IG, and Jwei slinks his way out. I don't think he's going to survive though. They saw him with the TP hover over, and Knight is just going to try to take him out. This sombrero will signal the party for BLG.
And in an attempt to stop BLG from setting up around this Drake, instead they're going to lose out onto the Baron, and it's just overly aggressive from IG. They don't have all of the vision set up. Jwei is fully spotted out whilst hunting for Knight, and what makes it worse is that Knight both has his own golden, then is able to get then isn't tagged actually with that Tempered Fate, which means he's then able to flash away. If he was just tagged with the Tempered Fate, he would have come back out of golden at the exact same time as the IG members. That didn't happen. He could just flash away, and it just allows him to survive through that play. And Bin as well, flashing over the wall straight into the ulti, straight into the knock-up. Just infuriating to try to play against this champion.
I kind of like that timing as well, just being able to use that to make On's Tempered Fate even better as we take a look back at this one.
Yeah, so Knight is going to use his own golden milliseconds beforehand, because he gets fully jumped right here. And as you would expect, this is probably going to result in his death. He goldens, then the Tempered Fate hits, so he's able to flash back over the wall. It's just tiny things like that in these kind of big messy team fights that are really nice to watch. Whilst we're watching that though, at the same time, yeah, as we said, Bin just flashing over the wall, and oh boy.
And then we come back to live, and IG are already getting picked clean again. The bones weren't even set yet as the decimating smash comes in. Breathe is okay. He was able to dash away. Viper's coming in, trying to go for a little 1v1 action on Dati. Public execution comes in. They find one. It's not enough, though, I don't think. They're going to get the double knockup. Mako is going ham, but he doesn't really have anybody to follow him up. You have some damage from Nya, but there's no way he is taking down all these members of BLG as Mako is left all alone to a double kill tonight and maybe make it a triple kill for the golden left hand.
There we go. And hey, in the previous game, Jwei able to pick himself a game MVP. I think I think Knight is gonna go back to being even with him in terms of those individual pickups of
for
those
one
wins.
game, but for one game, he had the world in his hand.
He did. Now Knight has a 10-stack Medjai's in his hand, so I think things are looking pretty dang rough right here for IG. We obviously missed the initial play right here, and I'm surprised by how long it is that the IG members are able to survive right here. The fact they are actually able to step up and deal some decent damage. Nya is hitting pretty hard at this point, but unfortunately the BLG members are just too tanky. They just hit way too hard. Jachi's never allowed to actually play in this team fight. Watch, he never steps back up for this fight at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no way he can,
No,
unfortunately. Oh, you thought we were done in the bot side. No,
let's go again.
We're right back.
Round 3.
As Hextech Soul is on the plate here for BLG. You want to go ahead and scoop that one up?
Mazel, we've had 3 fights for this Drake, and the Drake
Yes.
has just actually spawned and been
The most important dinner guest. Okay. Oh, he's out?
Nope.
Oh, Shun's going to find him. Oh, no. You thought you were among friends, Jwei, but they are no longer your teammates. You will take a little bit of an L, and BLG will take a big old dragon.
There we go, Dragon finally going to be picked up. This will be soul point right here for BLG, barring some kind of crazy steal from IG. They're still trying to step up. Mako looking to punt somebody back into the team, but he's just going to pop the ulti and die slowly.
Slowed down, can't even do anything. Meanwhile, Ben's going for an insta flank with the train. He just whips it out and throws him at him. Double kill comes through for Knight again. This guy is 12-1 on the Orianna. A comeback central here in game 2 for BLG.
I mean, really the only thing that we're questioning at this point is whether or not Knight's going to hit that 25 stacks on the Medjai's. He has been incredible throughout this game. It is an 11,000 gold lead at this point for BLG.
Yeah, 25.5 minutes in. That's going to feel real good, as well as the Hex Soul on top of it. IG just struggling to find anything here in game 2. Makes you think, what happened in game number 1? Ben, I wonder if he can take this, or at least escape. He can use the unstoppable onslaught into the wall there, at least into Breathe to stop that initial damage flow. He should just go down. It's taking a while, though, and you'll have to see what BLG... Did he really just flash? He's playing with them, man. He is just having a good time. Doesn't even care.
Nope.
As the rest of his team is taking the base of IG here. Mid lane will be the focus.
And they don't even have a Baron buff right now. They are just bullying the members of IG out, cracking open the base right here in the mid lane. A minute 30 seconds until that Baron will spawn. So for BLG, I want to see them, just back off, take away the jungle camps, and get yourself some good vision set up. I mean, right now, the vision line for IG is miserable. They've got themselves a couple wards down in the bottom side of the map where they were setting up around the Drake. And beyond that, it is just pure darkness on this top side.
It is indeed. And I just got to heap some more praise towards Knight. I think this guy is just having himself an insane split. You know, coming into this series, I was wanting to kind of put together best performances from him across this split, but even maybe across his career, because it's so insane how consistent this guy has been.
Yes.
He has 2 of the most kills in the game this split so far, 15 being the highest, and then he has another game of 13 kills on the Mel. He is getting close. He's tied with the 5th place person right now in Shanks at 12 kills. If he gets any more kills, he's going to add his name on there again. And I think it's just impeccable how he's played his game. Yes, there were some moments at the beginning of the split that had some lightness to them and not as much, locked in nature of Knight, but the other 3/4 of the split, this guy has been making everything about him, and it's incredible to watch year after year he be the actual protagonist of the LPL.
It is really awesome to see, and it's great to see him do it both on the domestic and the international stage. And right now, they're looking to close out this game versus IG, send us on to a game number 3. 5 seconds until the Baron spawns, but right now, BLG, they don't care about it. They're just looking to keep the pressure up as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to find little cracks in the base. I do like IG's defense so far, though. They're able to push BLG off here. No Baron started yet. Shun's gonna face check the bush. Temper Fate comes in. He still has the GA, and Jwei just has no fighting strength. That's about an item differential right there, and this is about a game differential right now. Breathe does find backline access, does find Viper. Mako trying to keep him alive here, but Breathe will have to flash away. Goes back into On, but On has the birthday aura, so you got to be a little bit more careful there, Breathe, as he has his bodyguards right there next to him too. Knight and Ben running Breathe down as the rest of the team looks to close in on the rest of the base. Sun's going to go for the bot lane turret. Inhibs are going to be broken open. It can't end just yet, but this is permanent damage done. TP's coming in as well from Knight.
And what were we saying about the most kills coming through? This is going to put him up towards the top of the list.
Oh, he's about to get the top of the list.
Tying the most crazy at the moment, 15, 1 and 8. Yep. One more kill for him to top the list out, and he has just been incredible. He really has. For IG, it's an unfortunate game. 13, nearly 14,000 gold behind. There's really no way they can get back into this one, barring some just major Alt F4 level of collapse out of BLG. I'm not sure why Jwei decided to go flying in just then. I know you are so out of this game as a Vi. You needed so much to have gone your way early on that just simply did not. But the rest of the team do some damage. Nya, Jachi, Breathe even, you know, they've got ways to go back in, but they really need their jungler alive to even think about being able to do it.
And it's so funny when you look at this BLG team, because we were like, oh, but Viper, he's been a little bit... It's hard to be loud when the entire band is playing for somebody else on the team.
Yes.
Like this, Knight is just taking over the kind of big spotlight for BLG so far. It's rightfully done, right? And I think...
Yes.
Maybe Caster. No, okay. Oh my god, that damage is ridiculous. 25 stacks, and he officially crosses the most kills in a single game of the regular season here in split number 2 of the LPL. The golden left hand is alive and well.
The LPL is just Knight's playground at this point, and BLG with the Baron buff in inventory as well. They're looking to just march this one straight down the mid lane.
Oh my goodness, he's going to get another one. He is just going to break that record so far, and easily so. Viper's even dashing and doing some flashiness, as that is the BLG emotes coming up, and BLG pushing our second series all the way to 3. Knight at 18 kills, the most kills in a single game so far this split, and it is an honor and a pleasure to get to watch this guy do his thing in the LPL.
It's amazing. Just getting to watch him play is so much fun. 18, 1, and what was it, like 8, 6? A huge amount of assists too, considering he was just absorbing all of the kills. This is the thing we were talking about with Viper. Oh, he's got really low kill share compared to all of the other ADCs. They're all Knight's kills. Knight is every single kill he's able to pick up right there. 18 kills is just ridiculous. That's a solo queue game kind of performance. And for BLG, after what was a pretty disappointing game for them in game number 1, they bounce back and they come out swinging.
They do. It's nice to see, but also questionable. It's like, why did that first game even happen? And, you know, it's, again, going back to the draft, kind of maybe disrespect towards the opponent, trying to play what you want to play, maybe get some more reps in potentially as well. But it's also for IG a stark contrast for them in terms of how they were able to approach this game. This game felt a lot more like the regular IG that we've gotten in some of their bad moments in the second half of the split.
Yeah, very much so. They were showing us a lot of those like bad habits that they have, where they don't set up around objectives in the way that you really want. You know, you're not getting as much deep vision as you really need. I thought Mako overall actually had a pretty good game. I've not got a lot of blame for the way that Mako played this one out, but Jachi was not able to play at all really on this Corki. So your bot lane are pretty quiet overall, and as much as Mako was trying to get stuff done on the Alistar and was finding it here and there, you're always going to get outroamed by a Bard. That's just the nature of the champion. And then on the rest of the map, Yeah, tried his absolute best. Again, no real problems with him. What I do have problems with is Breathe and Jwei. I thought those two really were exhibiting the worst habits. They were getting caught out before play started. They were going in when the rest of the team really didn't have any way of properly being able to follow up. They weren't getting any flanks off either for the squad, and when they did try find a flank, they were being spotted out as they were happening. And it means that as much as, yeah, your bot lane wasn't really able to get ahead and your mid lane's doing pretty well, if your top jungle are not doing anything, you're of course going to begin to fall behind when it comes to objectives, when it comes to just the tempo of the game.
Yeah, and that's a tough place to be, obviously, but I just can't help to think that, you know, it's gotta feel okay for IG to have pushed BLG to 3 games, and if they take this one, all the better of it, right? And you get to see that kind of turnaround. But even being able to push BLG this far, because they've had a lot of 2-0s, even in some losses for them. Some 2-0s, but 17,000 gold lead in the end. Knight with a incredible performance across the table. Like, not even, I don't think, a single moment that looked bad from him.
No.
And a BLG that seems back in form, at least for this series.
Huge. I mean, we talked in the previous game about how, you know, in a 33-minute game had 33k damage. Well, that was 34k damage in a 30-minute game. That, like,
just had to one-up
game. Yeah, I mean, just even more impressive. And I mean, look at the KP. Obviously, you expect your mid laner's KP to be pretty high, especially with these teamfight-orientated picks, but still, the fact he was involved in everything, he was all over the map the whole way through, was just so very nice to see. And if BLG keep playing like this, again, I think we're getting back to what we were expecting coming into today.
Yeah, I think that's, again, it's just the wild ride of the LPL occasionally. When you get these wild moments, any team in our league can drop a game 1. That is the stated fact here in the LPL. It feels like
that's true,
and we get to see that time and time again. But gearing up for that MVP conversation, I mean, it's Knight all the way. It's 100% Knight, which means that he gets to keep in the running with Jwei for most pogs, which is cool. I mean, he's winning, but you know,
yes.
I mean,
he is indeed winning.
He's winning. He's winning.
We'll see if he's able to put in another good performance. He's also the most voted for. I think he's got the most overall player of the series of anybody. I think he's quite far ahead in that conversation. It's the individual games where I think it's a little bit closer overall. So we'll see if he's going to be able to pick up another one of those. I wouldn't be super surprised, but again, IG, why would you give Knight the Orianna? Like, I can't think of a worse combo to give my opponents than the best player in the LPL, the best champion.
Yeah, I think that'll come back to bite them a little bit. But hey, I think it's cool that
I'm glad we got
they
to see
tried to find a way around it. Yeah,
this is
true, true. But I think they'll want that back a little bit. It was fights like this that were kind of like already over. And I think some of the splits were good. Like, I think IG were able to kind of split some of these fights really well. They're just so far behind that it just didn't matter.
Very much so. And looking towards that next game, for BLG, if they're able to just, again, get themselves this kind of composition, boring, straight up, front to back composition where Knight is able to be awesome, and you don't expect anything major from Viper, but he's able to just sit and hit and do the damage, amazing, wonderful. It'd be interesting to see if Viper's going to be able to pick himself up that Ezreal. Obviously, you don't have the Ezreal Bard anymore, but still, if he can grab himself an Ezreal, if he can grab himself something like the Varus, again, something you can sit back with, chill out, not expect too much from him, and then you've got tanks in the top lane, something that you can just play around in the mid lane for Knight. It's a winning formula for BLG, and we saw when they deviated heavily from that in the first game, that's when things started to go wrong.
It truly is. I struggle sometimes to, you know, see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're facing such a dominant team like that, but I think there always is, and I think that's where you always reset the stage when you go into a game 3, especially just because you've gotten to that point already, right? You've already taken a game, you've proved that it's possible. So I do want to see what they have, and of course, Knight will take the MVP. So it's 8 for Jwei and now 10 for Knight. So
he's pulling away.
Keep it above.
Yeah, very much so. And hey, Knight, he's been doing an incredible look. I think we've been talking a lot about MVP voting. Remember, go join the Discord and get involved in the MVP voting. We certainly will be putting ours through. I think the mid lane and the overall MVP is pretty locked up, but there's obviously very interesting races for MVP all across the rest of the lanes.
It is an astounding thing to get to watch games like this and get to watch players do what they do, and especially BLG as a whole, but Knight individually. 18 kills. It's a hell of a spread. That's game 2 for us. We'll be back after a short break for game number 3 to see who takes the series. IG